after the press conference, how did camp change because of the cut on Caleb's face?
You know, that day I wondered if it would myself, but luckily it didn't change at all. He sparred right afterwards. We sparred twice that same week after the press conference, so it didn't change at all, and it's been an afterthought.
I didn't realize there was going to be. It's very noticeable that it's still there.
It's a glorified scratch at the end of the day. I mean, we literally sparred the next day, so I mean, it's nothing. It's superficial.
So you have no concerns that
especially with it under the eye. It's not going to drip into the eye.
So even if it does open, it's not going to be impediment.
You said you sparred the next day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Did the headgear change anything? I know some people have the bar in the front. Anything you weren't?
We didn't even change that, but we always wear good winning headgears. Not the one with the bar. We didn't add anything special. He just wore the same headgear, and it was never an issue.
Is the commission going to take obviously we're here at the fight, but did the commission take a look at it?
Not that I know of. It's been such a minor thing that nobody's really talked about it. So unless they did it without me knowing about it, I don't think they've even mentioned it.
We talk about Caleb's fast hands, his conditioning, he's just a dynamo, but it seems as if his mental fortitude and his toughness is his ultimate strength. Can you talk about what you've seen?
I don't know what his ultimate strength is, because it's a great point, when you lose your mother the way that he lost his, and when you lose a daughter, and what that does to you inside, could his physical abilities be greater than what that has made him, and what he's gone through in his life has made him? I don't know, but he's got great physical abilities, So, it's definitely part of the, he definitely needs those qualities in order to win this fight.
Is this the kind of thing where, to me anyway, it seems very obvious that for him to win, he's got to be the boxer. He's not going to go out there and brawl. What is your take on the style in which he has to win?
I think that he needs to he's going to have to mix it up. He's going to have to box for the most part, but then he's going to have to get aggressive sometimes, and he's going to have to step up to Canelo sometimes. If he makes Canelo miss big on a big shot, he can't just float away in there. He has to jump on him while he's falling off balance and take advantage of the moment. So sometimes he is going to have to step up.
And I don't think that Caleb has ever been knocked down as a professional. My belief is that he's always had a good chin, unless I'm missing something. Do you feel like Canelo has knocked guys out, lots of them, in a multitude of ways, to the body, to the head, made them retire on stools, broken bones. What is your concern level, let's say, of him being able? We know what he can do in his abilities, but ability, he's going to get hit. He's going to take it.
When somebody asks me that question about any of my fighters, my first response is, if I don't know how their chin is, I don't want to know how their chin is, But at the end of the day, I know that Caleb can take a shot. He took some big shots against Muskategi, and I remember a right hand particularly, and late in that fight, I don't want to know how good his chin is, but I'm confident in him, and I'm confident, more importantly, in this, because it's easy to make the wrong decision when you get hurt. It's easy to fight back and then suffer a fate like Peter Quillen against Danny Jacobs, where he fights back and then he suffers.
How about to the body, which is an expertise of Alvarez?
we have to. We're going to be ready for that, but at the end of the day, if Caleb boxes the way that he needs to box, then body shots shouldn't be a factor. Like they weren't really for Triple G in the first Canelo fight.
True.
Because Triple G, going to the body, you risk getting countered up top. It's easier to get countered up top, and so Triple G, that's why he didn't throw as many body shots, and Caleb's a good counterpuncher, so would it shock me if Canelo didn't throw a lot of body shots? Because when he did, he suffers for it. No, that wouldn't shock me.
Were you there for the Andre Ward sessions, and what ultimately did Caleb tell you he got out of that experience?
Well, he told me about going to visit. Andre Ward invited him, and we're friends with that team, and vice versa. It was maybe a little bit before our training camp started, like a week or so before, and I encouraged him to go, because Andre's been there. He's a great fighter, and Caleb have similar styles. They're friends, and he's got a lot of knowledge to teach Caleb, so I encouraged him to do that, and he picked up a few things. And Andre came one time and watched one of our training sessions, so he's been helpful a little bit here and there, but Nothing that is, no drastic changes to our
Was that
strategy.
just for Andre? You just wanted to give him some advice and tips.
Yeah.
It wasn't like.
No, there was no changing of anything, or no, he's not going to come on in an official role. It's just friend. He was just a friend, offering to help another friend.
He said, "Come on out. Let's talk about the fight. I'll give you some."
Yeah, we'll train for a few days, and then maybe I can give you a few pointers. And Caleb wasn't doing anything at the time, and anytime I've always encouraged Caleb.
That was
to
this past summer, right before the.
It was right before our training camp started, or shortly before. I can't remember.
Justin, what was the film study with Canelo? Were you looking at
Honestly, that's a good question. Before there was ever any talk about Caleb and Canelo fighting, I had already seen a lifetime of footage of Canelo. So sure, I've been watching footage, but it's hard to look at footage and see too many new things because I've just been over it so much.
So we know how big this fight is for Caleb. The trainer, it's a big deal also. I mean, if you get the win in this fight, you're going to get a lot of accolades also. How, from your perspective, just for your own training career, how important and how much significance does that have for you? Not a lot of guys today train the undisputed champion.
When I was 15 years old, my favorite fighter was Roy Jones Jr., the IBF super middleweight champion. And there were 4 champions in that weight class at that time, and we never got the undisputed champion like we wanted. And I never got to see Roy Jones against Nigel Benn and Steve Collins and Frankie Lyles. And now, not only am I getting to see it, but I developed this IBF champion into this position. So it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like a boxing. I'm coming full circle.
How old are you now?
Boxing. I'm 40.
Okay. So it's obviously very meaningful then for you.
Very meaningful. I'm from South Dakota, and if you can name another significant person in professional boxing from South Dakota, then I'm going to give you a $10 bill.
I can only name Virgil Hill from North
Dakota. Pride of North Dakota, exactly.
That's as close as it gets.
So yeah, it's very meaningful for me.
You talked about those experiences that Plant has been through. And that he'll
Eskimo, I think, or something.
He'll need those moments to win this fight.
Can you say that again, please?
You talked about those tough moments that Caleb has been through and how he may need them to win this fight.
Absolutely.
I mean, have you seen him in that mode before in other fights? I mean, has he taken on those moments of truth that we expected?
There's part of that in every fight that he's been in. So many times in Caleb's career, I've seen these pivotal moments, like in his third pro fight.
What happened?
It was the first time I had seen Caleb, in my opinion, lose a round in boxing. And before he fought Uzcategui, I had him, and I'm not biased at all. As a matter of fact, if it's a close round, I'll give it to the opponent every time.
Okay.
And I had him losing 3 rounds out of 85 leading up to the championship fight. That's less rounds than Ali, Leonard, and Floyd Mayweather all lost in their first 85 rounds of boxing.
Were you there for his debut also?
I was there. I've been his head trainer for all of them.
Okay,
and in his third pro fight, I remember he fought this kid named Brian True. In round 1, he hurt him, but the guy recovered. And the second round, the guy came on strong. It was only a 4-round fight. And Caleb didn't get hit with much, but he just got out. I felt like he got outworked. And when you lose a round in a 4-round fight, I mean, you don't know what the judges are seeing. That could be pivotal. And I remember telling him that when he came back to the corner. I said, hey man, we cannot afford to lose a single round in a 4-round fight. And I remember his eyes, just like hearing that. And then he went out and dropped the guy 3 times and took him out the next round. And that told me when the going gets tough, that he's not going to be one to spiral and get down and just he's one that, oh shit, I got to step up.
I was at that pro debut, by the way.
Yeah? Was that? Nope. No, that was pro debut. Sorry.
Yeah, pro debut.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We're talking about his third pro fight.
No, I'm saying I was at the pro debut.